What's up, YouTube? I haven't posted a video in like 4 or 5 months, since like July, I think. Just decided to make another video today. I have something very special to show you. If you've been following my Instagram, you know what I'm about to show you here. But I just wanted to check in here on my YouTube channel. 2020 is just, we all know it's a crazy year. A lot of things have happened, a lot of things have changed over the past like 4 or 5 months since I haven't posted here on YouTube. And one big thing, one new addition to my life, which I'm going to show you here shortly. So just wanted to check in and share what I got going on here today. But yeah, just 2020 has been a crazy year. I had a lot of ups and downs the past couple months. That's kind of why I haven't been really posting on YouTube. Just kind of had to focus on some other things in life, in my personal life, also with photography as well. Just, you know, things in general. I had to take a step back and refocus on some things. I had a life incident, I'd say, that kind of had to make me refocus my priorities, refocus my life on just kind of going in on one thing at a time. So I'm sure we can all relate. 2020 has brought us a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Seems like more downs than ups, but one of the ups that I've had recently is, like I said, what's right here in front of me. Without any more delay, here, I'll show you right here. Here is my new car. 2017 Ford Focus RS. This is my new car right here, stealth gray. I think this is the best color this comes in. Man, this thing is so fun. This is also my first manual car, so I've been learning manual the past couple weeks, past 2 weeks since I bought the car, obviously. Have never driven a manual on a street before I bought this car. The only time I drove a manual was in a parking lot. It was a Mini Cooper back when I was in college. A couple friends rented it for a weekend. But yeah, this is my first manual car. I think I bought the right one. I just can't, every time I park it, I can't stop looking back at it. So yeah, this is it right here, my brand new car, 2017 Ford Focus RS. So the reason why I'm making this video today is because I kind of want to just explain how I ended up buying this car, because it was one thing that led to another type of deal. I'll be going over that in this video today. Just kind of want to explain a little more in detail about what happened and what's going on. Yeah, so kind of how I ended up here. Well, first we have to start with my other car, which is, as a lot of you guys know, I had a 2011 Mazda 3. I had that car since I was 18. That was my first brand new car, and I was planning to keep that car honestly until it ran into the ground. That was such a good daily driver car for me. I had no issues with it. So in early October this year, I got into an accident with a Mazda 3, and this accident was my fault. I was at fault for this accident. This was a huge life lesson for me to learn, and ever since that accident, I've just taken like 5 steps back, just in my life in general, just not trying to rush anything, not trying to rush whenever I'm going places, if I'm at my professional work or if I'm doing photography. Just try not to rush and try not to get frustrated, try not to get anxious, try to over plan ahead with things. I was just rushing to get home. I thought I was gonna make a yellow light coming off the freeway, didn't quite make it through the yellow light, and I was making a left, and as I was making a left, the light turned red, and then the person, or the people that had the left arrow to go onto the freeway, they had the green, and the person obviously that was going didn't see me, and then it was just it was basically a T-bone from there. And I'll show you some pictures here up on the screen, but basically the guy that hit me on the driver's side rear quarter panel, and then also messed up the driver's side passenger door and also my rear bumper. The person that hit me, their car was like basically just like a bumper. The front bumper was dented, and that's basically it. It was my car, my Mazda 3, that got the brunt of that. They got the brunt of that accident. So like I said, I was at fault for this accident, I'll admit. It was a big life lesson for me to, like I said, just slow down and just not rush. It's honestly, it's not worth it. And the big thing that I learned is every time that we go drive anywhere, we're honestly putting our life at risk, just getting behind the wheel, no matter what car it is, no matter where we're going. We're honestly putting our life at risk. It's not worth it to speed and to rush and to cut people off. It took that accident to really just make me take a step back in life and just say, hey, like, it's not a rush. It's not a sprint in this life. It's a marathon. We're learning new things each day. I was down on it. I was negative on it for a couple weeks. I was bummed about it for a couple weeks. Like I said, I was in love with that Mazda 3. Wanted to keep it forever. But you know, I had a change of perspective one day and just looked at the positive out of this, and I had to buy a new car anyway. So I figured learn from this accident and put it behind me and just move on and look at it as a positive. And That's obviously how I ended up with this. But this Ford Focus RS was definitely not my first choice. Let me explain the other decision that I had before this car. My first choice for getting a new car was a Subaru WRX STI. I was dead set on getting an STI. I was pretty much like 90% there of getting an STI. I found one at a Toyota dealership in LA, and I had talked to the sales guy that contacted me. I told him, hey, like, you know, I want to go check out this car. Like, I think I want to buy it. It was Rally Blue, obviously. You have to get that color if you're gonna get an STI, I feel. So the funny thing is, I was gonna go up to LA, go check out that car, potentially buy it. The weekend that it rained really hard here in San Diego. This was like maybe 3-4 weeks ago at this point. I was gonna go up that weekend, and then it started raining, and then I don't want to drive up to LA in the rain. It's kind of not worth it at this point. And it rained that whole weekend, so I just stayed home in San Diego and hoped, you know, maybe next weekend I'll go up there and check it out. So what had happened was that weekend was I went to go watch a review of an STI on YouTube, and then in the suggestion or the related part on the side of the video I was watching, there was a video, I forgot specifically what it was, but it was like WRX STI versus like Ford Focus RS. So the other cars I was looking at besides the STI was a Honda Civic Type R, a Golf R, a Volkswagen Golf R. I had to make sure, since I had to buy a car, that I wanted to go all out and get a manual car, and not just like a, you know, like a cheap manual car, but like a fun manual car, like, you know, kind of this hot hatch kind of segment, which like the STI was in, the Type R was in, and the Golf R was in. So those were the other cars. Like I said, this car was basically last on that list, so it's kind of funny how it ended up here. So after I watched that initial YouTube video that was like STI versus Ford Focus RS, I literally went on a rabbit hole and watched, literally, I kid you not, every single Ford Focus RS review on YouTube that weekend. I literally watched every single video in existence on YouTube about the Ford Focus RS. I just like fell in love with this name. Honda Civic Type R, even the Golf R is like more like known than this, and then obviously the STI. Those are like pretty like common, but you never ever see a Ford Focus RS. And the funny thing is, this car is the fastest out of all of them. And it's weird that like you never see this on the road. Nobody really ever talks about it, but everybody's talking about the Civic Type R. I mean, they're great cars. Civic Type R, STI, like great cars. Like whoever has those, like you have a fantastic car. But no one ever talks about this car, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. Everything kind of fell in line for this one to be the one for me. It matched all the criteria that I wanted. I wanted something not like big, you know, not like a BMW M5 like type of car. I didn't want a truck, didn't want an SUV. It fit into like that compact, like but sporty, and comes in a manual category. The Focus RS fell into that category, and it wasn't even on my list of cars to buy. Like I said, my heart was set on the STI. I had been looking at an STI for like 3 or 4 weeks after my accident when I was shopping for a new car, and then just all of a sudden the Ford Focus RS popped up, like I said, just on a suggestion video on YouTube, and then I just went down a rabbit hole, and then boom, I'm here with one. When I was searching for the car, I obviously started here in Southern California, and then I just looked nationwide just to see kind of what was available. And here in Southern California, so like whenever I was shopping on like AutoTrader or like Cars.com or CarGurus, all those used car you know, websites, I basically set it to, you know, within 200 miles of San Diego. And really interesting from what I found from this, there was like only 5, maybe 6 when I was shopping for this car. That's just like insane. In Southern California, with all the cars, you know, in Southern California with the big car community that's down here, only like 5 of these were for sale. And I saw no 2018s for sale, because if you don't know, the 2018 only comes in 2 colors. The bright blue one that this car is kind of known for, and then Racer Red, I think is what the other one is called. I'll flash a couple of them on the screen just so you guys know what I'm talking about. So if you think about it, there's only like 5 of these available. There's literally more McLaren 720Ss available on the used car market than a Ford Focus RS. A car that costs like 5 times as much as this car. There's like an abundance of those compared to this, which is just absolutely insane to me. So when I was shopping for like the Honda Civic Type R, the Golf R, and the STI, there was plenty of those available. The Honda Civic Type R, those were going for MSRP, even if it was, you know, a couple of years older. Those are still going for pretty high. Golf Type Rs were relatively affordable. Like I said, there was a lot of those available. And STIs, forget it. There was an abundance of those available. But none of these, like a very few of these were available, which is just really rare. Obviously, if I look nationwide, there was a lot more. A lot of them were in the Midwest, some on the East Coast, but more of them were in the Midwest. I'm not quite sure like why they ended up over there. So where I ended up buying this car was at a Toyota dealership in Victorville, California, which is about 2.5 hours here from San Diego. It's basically halfway to Vegas. It's like right at the halfway point to Las Vegas. So I knew that like it was gonna be worth a trip up there. A Toyota dealership of all places would have a Ford Focus RS. It just adds on to like all the craziness of just buying this car, just like it being rare, this car not being my first choice. It was like the last on my list for a new car. Wasn't even on my list until like a week before I bought this car, and then I bought it at a Toyota dealership of all places. So it's just crazy. I guess that's 2020 for you. You can't predict what's gonna happen. So this whole time that I've had this car, I really haven't like explored much of it as far as like the features or like driving it in sport mode or track mode or even the drift mode that it has, just because I've been focusing on learning how to drive manual. And that's really my #1 priority right now. Just get comfortable with driving manual so that way I can drive it every day and go up hills and all that stuff. Maybe at some point once I do like get comfortable driving this car, I'm comfortable driving it every day and to places further from San Diego. I definitely would like to do like a review, kind of a more in-depth review, just kind of my thoughts. There's plenty of, obviously I've watched all of them, but there's plenty of Ford Focus RS reviews out on YouTube, but maybe I can just do like my thoughts on it, just like a quick one, just so that way there's another perspective if somebody else looks to buy this car. But yeah, let me actually take you inside and just show you some of the interior. It's really nice inside. All right, so here's the interior of the RS. Leather wrapped steering wheel, very, very nice steering wheel. My favorite thing about this interior is these Recaro seats right here. These are so comfy. There's a lot of people on YouTube and just reviews in general that complain about these seats because they say that the bolster is like it's too much. It's a little too buckety, I guess, for them. It holds them a little too much. Honestly, I think these are comfortable as hell. Like, they're just so comfy to sit in. Like, it's leather, obviously, and then it's Alcantara. It's just a nice place to be seated for a good amount of time. I can see like if you're going on a road trip for a couple hours, like it could get a little old just because it's so like kind of holds you in a little bit. But other than that, like I think these are comfortable as hell. Other thing I like about this interior is the blue stitching that's all over this interior, obviously to match the RS badges that are on the outside that make this car distinct. But yeah, very, very nice touch. But yeah, this is definitely a very, very nice place to be. I know sometimes people also complain because this interior and this center console setup is literally taken out of a Ford Focus, like the base one. And then I know people kind of complain that, oh, like the RS isn't like as like nice, and this is the the high end, the hardcore version of the Focus. But honestly, like this is nice in my opinion. It's definitely a good place to be. All right, that wraps it up for today. There you have it, my new 2017 Ford Focus RS, my new baby. I love this thing so much. I'm still learning how to drive it, but once I'm comfortable with the manual, once I put it in sport mode and take on some canyons, this thing is a canyon carver. I know that this thing is going to be an absolute monster, and I'm going to have just so much fun. I look forward to taking this to the track as well at some point. Yeah, that's pretty much an overview of how I got to this point of buying this Ford Focus RS. Had to learn a huge life lesson with that accident with my Mazda 3, to falling in love with that STI, then having literally a last-minute change to the Ford Focus RS, and then buying this car at a Toyota dealership halfway to Las Vegas, and then learning how to drive manual. And I'm still learning how to drive manual now. So, but honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. That's 2020 for you right there. So I haven't been on YouTube so long that I haven't made an announcement that I made a website back in July. Just long story short, I made a website for my photography, for my videography, and then just all my content creation. Made that back in July. That was kind of like my quarantine project. So I'll go ahead and leave a link to it in my bio, and here's the URL right here. Go ahead and check it out. That was a big thing that I'm very proud of this year. And also go ahead and check out all my other social medias down in the link below, or the links below in my bio. But yeah, I look forward to being more active here on YouTube again, whether it's videos about the RS here, or whether it's back to my automotive cinematic videos, or if it's about photo editing as well. So I'll try to be more active here on YouTube because I just miss making videos like this as well. So I figured why not come back with it with my new car here. If you've watched it this far into the video, just thank you for your support. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.